Hello and welcome back to Dreamscape Automotive for another video. If you've been enjoying the content lately, hit like, hit subscribe and join the journey. So today you join me in a very rainy Glasgow. Sorry if there's any water, rain on the lens, with a very dirty A45s. But today we're going to JLR Performance in Glasgow and they're going to fit some lowering springs on the car. So in the previous video we fitted the spacers to bring the wheels out 15mm. We're now going to add H&R springs to add to the stance. So we're going for 25mm in the front, 15mm in the back. Thanks to JLR Performance for getting us in so quick, and I'm going to try and hang over his shoulder a bit and get some clips, but ultimately I'm going to let them carry on with the work so that we can get this done quick and we can get away. But yeah, I'll keep you updating today's progress, and again, if you're enjoying this content, hit like, hit subscribe, comment, let us know what you think and join the journey. Thank you. Welcome to Dreamscape Automotive. So you can see there that the arch gap on this car from standard is about 3 fingers, so that's not good. We need to get that sorted. Similar on the back, you can probably fit 2 or 3 fingers in there. Not good if you're wanting some stance and some better handling. So you can see that the spacers have brought the wheels out quite nicely, but we do have to get the springs on to give that extra bit of stance. So we're really looking forward to today. We're going to close that arch gap, get this sorted, make the car look a wee bit more aggressive, and I think it's going to do a lot for the handling of the car as well. So these springs are going to work with the adaptive dampers. We don't have any issues there. So as I said earlier, I'm going to try and work with the guys in the garage, but I don't want to be hanging over them too much, so I'll try and get as many clips as I can. Just opened the box here, so these are H&R, you can see there. They're big, aren't they? Nearly the size of Jack's head.
Would be hard, my head's small.
I guess this must be the back ones. The front ones are smaller. I don't know, what ones do you think are bigger? Back ones? Massive, man. Jesus.
Oh, I don't know, mate. That's
looking forward to this.
Good question.
Nice bit, nice and blue as well.
H&R springs up there with the best.
Yeah. Okay, so that's us here. We're outside JLR Performance in Glasgow. Couple of interesting cars there. It's a bit wet in the window there, but we're just waiting on Scott coming out to take the car in. He's got another job on the go just now with a SQ7, I think, an Audi SQ7. So he said he's going to give me a shout when he's ready. We'll take the car in, and I'll try and weasel in behind him and get some clips. Really excited for this. Kind of feel the same way I did when I was 17 and I was doing these modifications myself on my Corsa and Astra VXR, but this car, the A45s, it just feels a bit complicated to be doing this work on your own. In future I would like to learn to scale my skills up and maybe do these types of jobs, but I think you need a unit and you need a ramp, and it kind of needs to be easy for you. So Scott from JLR Performance is going to help us out. I'm going to drop their contact details in the description of the video for Glasgow if you ever need any lowering springs, you know, any performance work. I'm sure they do exhausts and everything. I'm just getting to know them myself. But yeah, so my mate Jack with the BMW M2 is coming to help me. We're going to go for lunch and we'll take it from there. So check in soon. So this was us just getting the car onto the ramp. This car is quite low already, so we had some issues getting the car on the ramp, but we just had to make sure that the car was absolutely centred in between the 2 ramp posts to make sure that the bits would go underneath. That's us getting it in the air now. So first time I've actually seen this car up on a ramp, so it was an interesting day for me. Okay, so using the centre lock tool to remove the centre caps to get to the wheel nuts. It's a special tool that comes with the car. just having a wee look in the back there. You can see the springs and the shock absorbers there. Quite a lot of sensors on this car in these areas, so need to be careful. We did have an issue with one of the level sensors after we were finished, so you just have to be careful. I'm really just familiarising myself with what's going on underneath the car here. I'm not a hugely knowledgeable person in terms of mechanic stuff, especially in these modern cars, but I do like to familiarise myself with what's going on. So this is us just starting to take apart the rear. I'm not going to try and quote what all of these parts are that he's taking apart. I'm just going to let you watch and voice over what it is we're doing. So thankfully this car is new-ish, only has 18,000 miles on it, so nothing is rotten underneath. And that's the old spring that you can see there, the black one. The H&R springs that are going on are actually blue. This was quite a good technique, which actually makes a lot of sense really, is using, I think, a transmission jack to keep control over the suspension arms, I guess, to control them up and down when you're looking to remove nuts and bolts and things like that. Really, really handy thing to have. There's Scott taking out the old spring there. It's nice and easy. At the back, I must admit, was really, really easy. Probably could have done it myself if I'd known what I was doing. Here he's putting the new H&R spring in and just making sure that it's properly seated on its rubber seat there, as you can see. Just twist it, make sure it's in the right spot. And then it just pops up over the top. Nice and easy. And then same again, transmission jack to get the arm lined back up with the hub, I guess it's called. And that just goes in nice and easy. Another really handy thing to have around when you're doing these types of jobs is these power tools that the guys have got. These guys can set the torque on the gun with an app on their phone, which is brilliant. It means that the torque is always right. Just putting on that little kind of under tray / cooling duct thing there. Moving on to the other side. So this side is just a repeat of the other side. Obviously, nice and easy. Using the transmission jack again, just bringing it down there. That's a really good view. It's a really good shot that I got there showing it. And he's just lowering it as much as he needs to get the spring out. So that's it, spring out. So honestly, the back was super, super easy. He's getting the H&R spring in there. Nice blue spring. Just try to find the position for it to sit on the seat. When you're doing this, if you're doing it yourself, it sits on the seat in one specific way. You can see there that we've got it off just a bit. So you need to turn it. Basically just put it on the seat and twist it until you think it's in the right place. And it will basically feel as if it's in the right place. So that's us buttoning back up the other side again, which is really, really quick and easy, considering this is a new car and nothing underneath is rotten or anything like that. The guys were telling me that some cars that they get in that are a bit older and the nuts and bolts are rotten, a job like this can become a nightmare. So we're pretty happy about that. Nice and easy, back wheels going back on. So on top of the spacers that we fitted in the recent video. And again, the guys have got the guns set to the torque for the car, which is amazing. You don't need a torque wrench. So there we go. Nice and easy, torquing all of the wheel nuts up. So that's us, nice and straight. So again, on reflection, the back, very easy. Could do it on your own if you had a ramp. I wouldn't want to try and do this on axle stands as there's not really much access. So that's us moving on to the front now. So he's just taking the front wheel off like a pro here. You'll see what he does. Oh, nice. So just getting both sides off. So we've got both sides exposed. Nice and easy, so we can see in both sides and we don't have to worry about taking wheels off in between. So again, not going to try and quote any parts, but this is him, I think, taking away the brake line, just taking it out of its little seat there so he can start dismantling. Taking the drop link off. So the drop link was spinning at the back, so you can see that he was having to use some mole grips to make sure it was steady and stuck at the back so he could get that off. And this is us now going for the main fixture to get that off. Nice and easy. I had to put the gun in upside down there because the wheel arch is so tight. Same again, vice grips, mole grips, whatever you want to call them, so we can get the drop link off. Actually, plastic drop links on this car, which I thought was kind of weird. Look at the size of this drawer full of sockets. Honestly, he was sifting through this for ages trying to find the right one. Oh, bit of lunch, off to the shop. Actually, the woman that works in this shop had asked me if I'd just started in the garage. I think she thought I was a new apprentice. Back to the job then. So that's us got the suspension apart on one side, as you can see. Just about to start dropping the shock absorber down, so we can start thinking about taking the spring off it. I'm just getting the camera in about this as much as I possibly can. So this is us taking the top mount bolts out. The strut brace is attached on with those three bolts there. But you're going to see once he takes those out, the shock absorber, the whole arrangement will come down. Oh, there we go. Disappeared. I thought that was quite funny, but I didn't know what I was expecting to happen. So there we go. Scott just grabbing it out, getting it out for us so we can take the spring off. Same on the other side. Nice and easy. So this is the part where I was a bit worried. You leave this to the professionals. I thought we were going to have to use spring compressors, but Scott had another technique which he was confident about. So I am in no place to be questioning his craft. So you can discuss this in the comments if you want, but he safely managed to get the springs off without any issues. So I just let him get on with it. This is us now about to start seating the springs back on. You can see there's a little rubber grommet there. And same as the back, these springs only go on one way. So you'll see Scott just trying to figure that out here, trying to make sure he's got it on the right spot. Once you see it, it's dead easy. It only goes on one way. And as long as you're kind of watching what you're doing, it's hard to get it wrong. So you can see that it goes on the seat perfectly there. And just put that little cover over, and the top of the shock absorber goes back on, and the same nut goes back on again. And Scott is going to use the impact gun again to tighten it up. So that's one side completely done. Back in it goes. Nuts on the top. Bit of a struggle this. It's better if you've got two people. So I was helping Scott as much as I possibly could to make sure that he was getting through the job as quick as he could. I was just kind of, that's my hand there, I was just trying to steady it for him. It helps if you've got the ramp at the right height, so if you're ever doing this on a ramp, just make sure you've got it adjusted so you can get your arm under. And there we go. So again, Scott with the power tools in a minute, he's just about to torque these up, and it just nicely pulls the shock absorber arrangement up to where it's supposed to be. There we go. Nice and easy. So that joins the strut brace and obviously fixes the front suspension in as well. This is us moved around to the other side now, so just putting it back together. I didn't want to, put too many clips of the same thing in, so this is us just putting it back together. So we kind of had to prise that thing open at the back there that was joined onto the kind of main bit that comes down, and slide it off. And then on the way back in, we used an air hammer to kind of put it back on. Saved us taking apart all the ball joints and things like that, so it was pretty good. This is us. Scott just recommended that you always tighten this up by hand, just to make sure that you don't strip it. So that's what he's doing there. Nice and tight. Just putting the brake line back on there. Same again, that wee technique. Just getting through the clips quickly now, so that's us putting the spring on the other side. Tightening it down, and then just make sure that wee kind of sleeve jacket thing is over the bottom of the white clip at the bottom. When you lower cars, this can become difficult to, have that rubber sleeve staying where it's supposed to be because the car's lowered now. But you should always try, because it's basically a dust cover to stop any rubbish getting into the suspension components. So let's put the other side back together now. Same situation. So you can see here he's got the ramp a little bit low on. It was a lot easier for him, which was a wee technique that I picked up from this. Same thing again, he's going to use the power tools to get it back into position. Boom, 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 and done. So drop links back together, but again, same thing. So to get the drop link to tighten up, we had to use mole grips to kind of stabilise the back. But once you get it, that's it. Job is a good one. Tightening up the main bolts, nuts and bolts now. Just making sure everything's good in there. The lighting wasn't great, so we were having to use a torch, but that's okay, you can still see. Nice blue H&R spring in there. Okay, so final stretch, wheels back on. Getting excited at this point to see what the car looked like when it was down on the ground. Really excited about this modification coming down off the ramp now. So we kind of had an issue where the car was now a bit lower, so it was kind of stuck on the ramp, but we we managed to get it off. And there's Scott just plugging back in the adaptive damper sensors on the top of the shocks. And you can see already, look, you know, I started the video with how bad the arch cap was, and it's not even settled yet, and I haven't done full lock left, full lock right yet to reset the dampers either, and it's already looking way better. So Scott actually told me to get in the car and do full lock left, full lock right, turn the car off and turn the car back on, and it resets the adaptive dampers, and it literally dropped the car 20mm. So if you've ever fitted springs on any of these types of cars with adaptive dampers, I guess that's going to be universal. Always look to reset the dampers. Okay, well, that was a good day. Thanks to the guys, Scott and Ross. They actually just let me come into the garage and work with them and understand a little bit about the car and what was happening. So big thanks to them. Not a lot of garages would let you do that, and they've done a cracking job as well. The car looks a lot better. It's taking that big arch cap away, so I just need to let the springs settle now for a few days, maybe a week, and then get myself a wheel alignment done just to make sure everything's okay. But the combo with the wheels, the lowering springs and the spacers is doing the car an awful lot of good. So I'm just going to take it a drive now on the way home, just to make sure that everything is as it's meant to be. But I took it around the estate there, and I went back to see the guys just to let them know everything was good. So yeah, let's just take the car, post 911 there, let's just take the car a drive right now, and we'll just make sure we're happy. I can already feel the difference. A lot stiffer, but still good, and I've got the car in Sport Plus mode at the minute, and it is definitely a lot grippier. Can feel just turning the car, it feels to be a lot more responsive. Obviously the spacers and the springs at the same time is a good combo. That's us just coming up onto the motorway now, so I'm just going to do a wee bit of normal driving with the new springs. Everything's driving perfectly straight, all feels good. All good. Okay, so good day. I'm going to drop in some clips at the end of the car and how it's sitting now, but I just want to say a big thanks to Scott and Ross at JLR Performance in Glasgow. If you're needing any sort of performance work done or any normal maintenance work in general, just hit up JLR Performance. I'll put the link to their website in the description. So yeah, hope you enjoy these clips out of the car. Okay, so this is us about 10 days after the car was lowered, so it's all settled now, and I think that's it in its final position. So you can see there behind me, the stance is much better already with the spacers and the springs. The arch cap is closed a lot more, which is really good. I'm super happy with it, so I've decided to come down here and find a quiet spot. I'm going to get the drone out and I'm going to fly the drone alongside the car in different angles to let you all see how much better the stance is. So again, big thanks to JLR Performance for letting me get in on the process, letting me record the video, and I hope you're enjoying these educational videos. So I'm going to cut now to some of the most amazing shots of the new lowering springs on the A45s with the drone. But again, if you're enjoying this content, like, subscribe, comment and join the Dreamscape community. Cheers.
You grab
it.